Take a look at this. This is not your usual beef and pork meatball your Italian grandma serves on San Gennaro. In fact, nor pasta or Italians were around when the animal in this plate walked our planet. This is a mammoth meatball. No, I'm not cooking some fake news. This is real. Google it. This is in fact a product of the latest human ambition to mess up with Mother Nature and create real animal meat in labs. So no animal gets killed, or born for that matter. Just pounds of lab-grown animal cells to be served to our plate. And believe it or not, just this summer, FDA and USDA gave the green light to lab-grown chicken meat. Not lab chicken, lab-grown chicken meat to enter the market. And yeah, you might think, cool, no animal has to die anymore. Call the vegans. But actually, there's a lot of criticism towards the new science, as this frontier of bioengineering might pose an even bigger threat to endangered species. Let me explain. On this episode, to answer your question, nobody knows what the meatball tasted. Nobody ate it. Mammoth protein hasn't been around for many years. We don't know what that does to the human body. Right, back to the video. This episode of Blank Note. Attempts to substitute meat have been present mostly in vegan diets, where culinary experts would imitate the taste of meat using plant-based ingredients. But cell-cultivated meat is produced by first collecting stem cells from animals in non-harmful ways, and then we feed them a mix of nutrients, sugars, amino acids, salts, and vitamins and minerals in large stainless steel tanks to develop them into fat and muscle tissue. The idea has been around for longer, but the first time it saw light, or fire, is in 2013, when a beef burger patty was created at Moss Street University. It was made from over 20,000 thin strands of muscle tissue, cost over $300,000, and took 2 years to produce. 10 years later, the technology is now being scaled down to market adoption. 156 total companies were dedicated to producing cultivated meat and seafood by the end of 2022, with a total of $896 million invested in cultivated meats and seafood. And last month, science fiction became reality, as two California-based companies, Upside Foods and Good Meat, got the green light from both USDA and FDA to start selling to consumers. But while the lab-grown is biologically indistinguishable from the organic one, their cost of making simply cannot yet compete with the conventional chicken breast, which can be sold for as little as $4 a pound. That is why we are not going to see the cell-cultivated meat in store shelves. Just not yet. For the rich and fearless, a few restaurants who usually charge up to $300 per dish will start to include the exotic food in their menus. But this exotic chicken will at some point become more common. It will. The same parliaments who can make Apple switch to USB-C will at some point, pushed by environmentalism, pass the law to implement it as much as possible. Why? Because cultivated meat is of course eco-friendly, and it uses much less land and water than livestock, and produces no methane emissions. And once we get used to the idea of it, and it becomes economical, we will see it everywhere, in all shapes and species, and maybe some new ones. More on that later. Meat once used to be a delicacy. Today is consumed in quantities that our ancestors could never understand. Besides major environmentalist benefits, animal slaughtering, if not completely replaced, will definitely drop. And here I present the two problems I can think of. Hit me in the comment section if you can think of others. Human nutrition and exotic animals. I can already hear my fellow millennials, who will be the boomers of the time, cringing over this artificial piece of meat at the gender non-conforming barbecue table of the time. But as I said, the cell-cultivated is biologically identical to the organic one. If anything, the nutrition values will be even more controlled than the real thing. Still, the fear is legit. We have been drinking Diet Coke for decades, and just about now they figured it had cancerous properties. As with any other biochemical advancement, which reacts in unique ways in each body, we will progress and patch our way to perfection as time goes by. The lungs and stomach of an average medieval citizen would probably not survive the smog and diet of today. It's just part of evolution. We'll be fine. It is true that animal slaughtering will drop, but cell-cultivated meat will bring to the table all kinds of meats previously seen as unthinkable. Exotic animals like tigers, lions, elephants will be up for sale. Why not? After all, no actual animal will be harmed. The ethics of killing an endangered species will simply not apply. But here's the concern. Once we make this kind of poultry, the demand for the real thing will also increase. And while the real chicken or the real beef will be no sweat, illegal endangered species hunting will surge, especially among big cats. To put things into perspective, there is only 4,500 tigers left in the wild and around 23 to 39,000 lions. The solution comes from the fellas with the weird appetite for mammoth meatball pasta, Vow, the largest Australian cultured meat company. They have this rather unique futuristic idea. The product that Vow aspires to bring to market is not mammoth or other exotic animals, but what they describe as the Cheerios of meat. Synthetic branded meats made from combining different animal cell lines in a way that's comparable to the mixing of oats, wheat, and barley to create breakfast cereal. This would avoid problems like simulating wildlife crime, as the meat Vow takes to market cannot be traced to a single species. And this opens the discussion for a whole different world of culinary experience that we are simply not ready to make. Who knows what synthetic mixes would competition bring? I mean, can you imagine? Beef-flavored shrimp? Herbal tea-infused pork? Eagle salmon fillet? Agave-infused camel sausages? Or worse, meat. Just meat. You walk to the refrigerated section of the grocery store, and all you see is meat. I know there is nothing wrong, but it just doesn't sound human. I don't know what to make of it. I guess we have to see it, or better, taste it, and then make up our minds. What do you think of it? Let me know down there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.